Welcome to the Nerds Cantos. They're doing their bit. Oh no, they're
No,
not.
I'm
They're
not.
not doing their bit.
No, I'm actually just dying. I should have done that. If I wasn't gonna cough, I would have done the bit. Stewie's still doing the bit. He hasn't said anything, so this
Yeah,
is
I
good.
was prepared to do the bit. I was waiting.
We do the bit every time. Dude, my dogs are barking. No, it's not the time. As my co-host Nolan here said, welcome to the Nerds Cantos. We're talking about 20th Century Boys today. For some reason, my mind immediately went to insert the song, but I think the YouTube channel would be taken down if I tried to do that. So do it anyway. I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking doing that.
Mark Boland's soul is gonna copyright strike us.
That, or if I even the song Urasawa made would also probably get a fucking drone strike sent to my house, knowing how copyright laws work. So I can't do any of that, unfortunately.
It's a damn shame. A damn shame.
I can play I think 5 seconds of the song. So here you go. I don't know why I'm playing music. This is more editing work for me, but we're talking about 20th Century Boys, which is a manga written by Naoki Urasawa. We talked about Pluto, one of his other famous works. We talked about the anime, right? Or did we talk about the manga?
Yeah, we did the anime.
I read it though. That's right. I read it, and then we watched it too.
And then we conceded that Nolan probably would not be able to do the book at the moment.
Yeah. And the anime was out. And that anime is great. We talked about that.
It's
Go
amazing.
watch it. Go watch our episode.
It's very good.
We're not talking about that bullshit today. All right. Fuck Astro Boy. I was gonna say Mega Man, but fuck that Astro Boy bullshit. All right. We're talking about real cinema today, and that's 20th Century Boys. I think his best work. Now Sui's only interacting with Pluto.
I have no horse in this race.
But Nolan agrees with me, as he was just saying. So I think we're right. I think we're correct. I haven't read any of his other. I've read 20th Century Boys. I read Pluto, and then I watched Monster. But hey, this one's peak here. So why don't we do? I forget how we structured it. We do and now obviously it's because we're reading things, but between every cantos, there's a good 2-month break at the minimum. And so I forget how to do these. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys.
Well, half the time we just summarize the whole story, but I don't feel like we need to do that. And that would be incredibly hard.
I don't think we could do that.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that's possible. I think so. In my mind, the way I'm thinking we do this is we do a light, spoiler-free, maybe almost like a pitch, because I don't think that many. This is a manga only, obviously. There's no anime. There are movies, which we plan on watching at some point, but I know it could be more popular. Is what I'm saying. I don't think this is as popular as Monster or Pluto, because the Pluto anime, a ton of people watched it, and that's pretty recent too. So I don't want to immediately get into spoilers, and I think a lot of people potentially watching this video have no idea what the fuck 20th Century Boys is.
That's okay. Well, you're about to.
You're about to hear the ramblings of 3 losers. Yeah, that's just.
Whoa, man.
Oh, too far.
Let's not be using any labels here, okay? Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. At least one loser. I don't know what the other 2 are. All right. I don't know. Do either of you want to pitch it before we get to spoilers?
Bro, yes, absolutely. This is the story about how music saves the world. All right. And this one is near and dear to my heart. It is practically the story of a failed rock star having to trump an evil cult that is somehow related to his childhood. And it has one of my favorite openings to a manga ever. And it is the main character, Kenji, in, I believe, 3rd, 4th grade. First day of school, he breaks into the office, hooks up a record player, and plays the start to 20th Century Boys by T-Rex. And I absolutely love T-Rex. And now this manga did introduce it to me several years ago. Xander and I, we read it.
True.
three or
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago. It was like
No,
my freshman year of college.
no. Well,
Or was it
maybe
sophomore?
that's when you read it. I read it in 2020 because I remember
Oh,
I
oh.
was I was reading the epilogue when driving to go get my license, which I got in 2020. So
Okay. Yeah.
you
All
might have
right.
read it a year. I mean, I think it took me a minute to be like, oh, you guys have to fucking read this manga.
Yeah, it was like 2022 for me. It's a very complex, long story that pretty much goes through kind of the life of Kinji and his childhood friends, trying to unravel a cult, and everything is based in references to his childhood, music. They're all love and rock and roll. They're referencing CCR and all sorts of other bands from the '60s, as well as old mangas. Like they mentioned Kabuki Joe, there's Kamen Rider, and then Cyborg 009. So it's just chock full of crazy, crazy, crazy references. Um, and that's like kind of a spoiler free bit to it,
I
because
think that's the
it's a very, very big plot, very runs deep, and I think any spoilers would just ruin it, because it starts right off the rip with crazy shit. So it's a must read. It's my favorite manga of all time,
it is
and
also my
it's just great.
favorite manga of all time. That being said, I know that at least for me, I will get ahead of any comments. There are a lot of the big mangas that I have not read, So, but out of all the mangas I have read, this I think is the peak of the peak.
Hmm. And we've read Berserk, so I mean,
I'm not caught up, but I have read Berserk. I was mainly
I need to
speaking
catch
on
up.
I was mainly speaking on Vinland Saga and Vagabond. They're the two that I know I'm missing out on. That when people talk about the best manga, whatever, it doesn't matter. I wanted to get ahead of any comments and say we haven't read all the manga in the world. Okay, so there might be a better manga, but
sure.
you got to get ahead of that stuff. I feel on the internet, we'll still get the hate comments. That's just no, we won't.
Yeah,
We'll get like
If
one
if
comment.
one of our
Listen,
3 viewers,
hey, it's 5. It's always at least 5 viewers. Okay, and they'll say something like, "Great video, guys. Shout out." I don't know your names because I try not to read the comments.
hell
They
yeah.
freak me out. I appreciate you people. Okay. Suey, what did you think?
Now we're gonna do a read aloud of the comments.
Jesus, no, we aren't.
Like in general, with no spoilers.
Yeah, I think no spoilers. Yeah, as this is your first time reading this, so no spoilers. What did you think of 20th Century Boys and 21st Century
I did
Boys?
like it. I did like it a lot. There are a lot of flashbacks, which is par for the course, I think, for like thriller and mystery manga, I suppose.
I think so.
Yeah, but the flashbacks can get a little confusing to keep up with sometimes. But besides that, I liked it a lot. I really like the whole cast, which we'll get into in a second. I can't name who I really like yet, but yeah, it's a very good book. And I can say I didn't really feel bored while reading it. I didn't feel like it was like falling off until a little towards the end. But like I said, we can talk about that later.
I think
But yeah, I like it.
on a reread, light, not spoilers. I share the sentiments where a little bit towards the end, I was like, all right, boss. Because it's like 217 chapters. And then there's like a 10 chapter epilogue. It might be longer than
Yeah,
that.
it's 200. It's 247 and then 16 chapter.
Okay, hey, man. It's a long manga.
It's lengthy.
And so a little bit towards the end, I personally, I got a little like, all right, boss, we're doing a lot here because there's a lot of stuff. But other than that, I mostly agree with what you say, Stewie. And there are a lot of flashbacks. I will say, and Nolan somewhat mentioned this in your little pitch, but a lot of the story takes place in like the 70. I think it's 1970 or it's like 1969 or something. But when they're children,
71.
which I think
Write
is
that
like
down. Write that down.
okay, which I think is I don't know. I mean, a music saving the world, Nolan, I think is an interesting way to to sort of pitch this story, but I almost see it as uh childhood saving the world. That's how I view it. You know, this is a story about nostalgia, I think.
Oh, it is
Well,
definitely.
definitely,
Yeah, I
but
do
it's
think you're right.
it's very much about children and your inner
Mhm.
child and um trauma that can happen to children and then that stays and grows with them as they go into adults, specifically looking at some of the villains um in that case. But this is it's it's long, which is really my only complaint. I think all the characters are great. I think all of the actual main plot beats are interesting. And I do know that there are a million YouTube video essays about the main villain of this manga, where they're, the amount of videos I've watched where it's like, this is the greatest villain in manga history. And it's just like 13 minutes of fucking friend dick sucking. I mean, valid.
Yeah.
Friend is a great villain. Bro has aura, okay, and I think that's important. That's actually all he has.
Yeah, he's a bit of a fraud.
Mhm.
I guess we could get into spoiler. I don't have much else to say. I think you two really summed it up in terms of the light spoilers. I guess the one thing I can leave on is, until we get to spoilers, is Kenji as a main character absolutely goated, and Friend as the antagonist also goated. So if you're looking for a good mystery thriller where the detective, in this case, Kenji's not really a detective, but he tries to be one. The detective is like trying to solve this mystery of who the bad guy is. Go read 20th Century Boys, because that's kind of what it's about until stuff happens. Speaking of stuff happening, should we get into spoilers?
Sure.
Yeah.
Fucking, what do you guys want to talk about, man?
He's a copy of a copy of a copy, bro. Fucking back and forth like crazy.
There's a lot of reveals on
Yeah,
like,
he's
Yosu.
Shukebi. He's Yamane at one point. He was Sadakayo, I think that's his
Kaio
name at one
yeah,
point.
yeah.
And then it turns out he's Katsumata.
Well, the Katsumata, but he is Fukabe. Or is Fukabe? I don't know how to. I said Fukabe when I.
Yeah, Katsumata pretended to be Fukabe after Fukabe
and then
died.
Yeah, got plastic surgery and all sorts of fucking
just
crazy shit.
A complete. And I love that when it is the second friend, like every character that talks with him is like, his aura's off. He doesn't feel like the other friend I spoke to, and I'm like, you're just testing him via his aura. Like he has less, unless you, I don't know, him coming back from the dead. That's aura. I mean, that
was aura. That was crazy
that's
shit.
Aura. The sniper, dude. There's so many characters in this manga. I forget like half their names. I'm gonna keep it 100%. I've reread it. This is my second time reading it, and I still couldn't tell you half of the characters' names. There's so many characters. I like them all. I
remember most of the main cast.
Dude,
no, I'm a fraud.
Fake fans.
I'm a fake fan, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I can't even remember the guy with glasses, like the main one of the Kenji's best friends with glasses. I can't
Bro.
even. I can't remember the fat guy either. What's the fat guy name?
I
don't remember them.
bro.
No, here's the thing. I remember them, and I remember everything they do. And I'm like, these guys are goated. They're some of the literal best characters. I couldn't tell you their names. That's just how many names.
You got the goat Yoshitsune, bro.
There's so
He's
many names, dude. I remember Kenji. I remember Friend's name. I remember so somehow I remember Donkey. And I think it's because they
kind of important.
Well, Donkey is, dude. Shout out Donkey, by the way. Rip Donkey. Okay. I really like Donkey. I don't know, and I think it's because when you meet Donkey, he's already dead in the present, and so they just say his name so much. They're just like donkey,
Mhm.
donkey, and so and his name's
He's
unique.
the reason they got together.
Yeah, I love all the kids, the flashbacks with the kids stuff when they're like children. I
Mhm.
love all of that with like the shitty twins and the secret hideout.
Mabu and Yabu, crazy shit.
Yeah, and then the like the haunted house they go into and I don't know. I love seeing it all because you see it all from Kenji's point of view, and then later at the end you get to see it all from Fukabe.
Kindness.
And
Mhm.
I mean you can see it from all of the friends' point of because you get like Sadakayo's point of
Yeah.
view as well. Like you get all of the bad guys' point of view, and I love how like slightly different it is. Same things
Mhm.
happen, but there's I don't know. There's a thing with Fukabe when he's a kid where he after they like kick him out of the group. No, they don't really kick him out of the group, but like after he stops hanging out with them and he like looks in the mirror and he just sees nothing, and I'm just like, well,
Mhm.
that's solid motivation to take over the world, I guess. I mean, shit. I'm like, damn, they kicked you out of the friend group, dude. Fuck them.
Tried
Kill him.
breaking them, and the guy immediately had a mental breakdown afterwards when it
Yeah.
failed.
Yo, and then he like beats the shit out of. He's like, you gotta wear this mask and pretend to be me.
Yeah, so like how he
Yeah,
fucking just
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude.
gaslights and bullies him for like 3 years.
Shout out Sadakayo coming back at the end.
Yeah.
Alright? Shout out feeling bad
I
about
was
it.
surprised when he came back at the end.
Dude, it's so foul how he was made to run the Friend Museum at one point. Just because he's such like he was always riding the coattails, and Friend is like he gets assigned to look at a replica of his childhood house at his collection, and that's where he has to go. And he goes in fucking sane, screaming at his imaginary mom, and just or not imaginary, but he's got the fucking computer
The
thing.
VR
He's tweaking.
headset on.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. The shit friend is diabolical. That is I don't
Mhm.
think anybody's joking. I was making fun of those video essays because I think they're funny. I think it's funny that there are so many of them, but they're all 100% correct. Like Friend and Griffith. I'm like that. Those are top tier haters right there. Okay, there's no one else like them. No one is moving like Friend is moving. Okay, bro is holding a grudge, and Kenji don't even remember his name. Kenji don't even know who he is, bro. Kenji's like, oh, you gotta be Sadakayo, but I barely remember that guy. And then it's like, oh, you're not Sadakayo? Well, you gotta be. Shit, I don't know your name, actually. Like, it's crazy work, bro.
Bro, his apology at the end about the space pen.
Listen, this big month.
Like
Oh,
it,
yeah.
The space pin is
so good.
pin is crazy, man. All right, it's. I mean, it's heat. Honestly, it's lovely.
Mhm.
I think it's a good little twist because you don't expect it from our goat Kenji to have done something wrong. Like
Yeah. I'm not the guy you think I am.
dude.
Just bars.
Kenji's goated, man. I do think getting into to stop glazing the manga, I do think when that first time jump hits and Kenji is dead, in air quotes,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it loses steam, but it definitely I think has a harder time. Like I'm more interested in Kenji than I am Kana, which isn't to say there's anything wrong with Kana. I like Kana, but I don't like her as much as I like Kenji. You know what I'm saying?
I almost do. On the of my initial read, I felt the same way, but I think on my reread, I started to like her a lot more. Because I'm a softie for good relationships, and it's such a good faux father-daughter relationship, and
Hey, that
the
is his
music binding
daughter,
it
bro.
together.
Alright.
It,
In every way that
yes,
matters. In every way
but
that
at
matters. Okay.
the same time, the people that raised her through her most formative years were
No.
gangsters. There's that
Okay.
scene where the vaccine. What?
I was gonna say she has a mom. All right.
She has a mom that she doesn't meet till the last
No,
like the concert.
not that, dude. I'm talking about
Yukiji.
Yes,
Yukiji.
yes.
Yukiji.
Okay, she has
Yes.
a mom.
Yes. She has a mom. She has
She
a
doesn't really
mom.
like Yukiji though. Like she
No, but
thinks,
that's I think that's teenage
yeah, that's
angst
what I'm saying.
coming out. I don't think
She's
that's
Yeah.
a dislike of
rebelling
Yukiji. I
against
think it,
Yukiji.
and they all make up at the end, and Kenji hug and stuff. I don't
What
know.
I'm
I'm
trying to
like,
say is she had two groups that raised her. She had Yukiji, who tried to keep her grounded, and then she had the gangsters. And I
the
thought
goats.
I thought one of my favorite scenes was where they trick her into taking the vaccine, and then they all go on a full-out assault against Friend. Because,
No,
like,
that's
what the
goated
fuck else
shit,
is going to
dude.
happen? The world's ending.
Listen,
I think that's really, really emotional and great.
I like Kana a lot. I just think she isn't as good as Kenji because the entire manga hinges on Kenji. And like Friend,
Mhm.
now I yes, Kana is related to Friend, where Friend is her dad, and so she has, and Friend potentially killed her adoptive actual dad. So you're like, okay, like she has. I'm not saying she doesn't have connections to Friends, but I think the Kenji stuff hits more, and because all the
Yeah.
flashbacks are
Yeah.
Kenji's, or when like
I think
I don't know.
after
That's what I'm saying.
Fukebe Friend died, it kind of had a little less stake in it. I
Right.
want to say because she kind of flounders after that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's a
Like
bit.
her, because he wins, well, quote unquote wins. He takes over Japan basically,
Dude, takes
and
over the.
most of her. He doesn't take over the world, I don't think, because NATO shows up at the end.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, he does. He like gasses the rest of the world, so it's like.
Yeah,
It kills a lot of
basically.
people.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
he murders a shit ton of people. But yeah,
He's in good graces with the rest of the world, but he doesn't
Yeah.
control it directly.
no.
Only Japan he controls.
Yeah, which I
But
think
yeah,
is,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think that is probably some form of meditation on Japan as a country at the time when Urasawa was, being raised. I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to get into that kind of literary stuff. But things are happening in this book. All right. There's themes going on in this book, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. I want to pedal back over to the music side of things.
Okay.
Because Kiji, his whole thing is music. I mean, that is his weapon
Yeah.
throughout the whole manga. That's his weapon. And Naoki Urasawa himself he's a musician. He has several albums. He's a singer songwriter. He's very talented. And I think the hardest panels, other than like big like wide shots that he likes to do, always are the whenever Kenji's playing.
It's the music, dude.
Or whenever he's got the fucking guitar in his hand, man. Those are just the hardest fucking pictures ever, bro.
No, they are.
You can't shoot a man while he's singing. Like, fuck. So good. And I talk about this ad nauseum to these two gentlemen here, but in volume 7, I believe it was 6 or 7. He attached a CD of Bob Lennon to like the initial printing. So people were able they got the lost Kenji tapes, so you could put the song in, and it's Naoki Urasawa performing the song that like kind of binds everyone together for the massive movement. Bob Lennon. And I got my hands on one. I've got one, god damn it. But I don't have a CD player. So, that's coming.
Bro can't even listen to it. All right.
I can't, but it's just magnificent how much he put his love into music here. And it really hits home for me. And I guess the reason I like Kana so much is little Nolan lores. My dad was in a rock band in the 90s, and I don't know. I get a lot of
Kana?
the same love. I have a lot of the same love I have for my father that Kana does for Kenji.
I think that's
like
valid.
playing his songs and all that. So that's why I like the main theme I take for it is art saves people. Like it's a beautiful thing. And it's something Kenji loses at a point and he gives up. But then he picks that fucking guitar up whenever he starts seeing that goddamn friend symbol and he jams. And they quote the Beatles performance in 1964, I think, when they came to the United States and they played on the rooftop or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that in
They play on
in
the rooftops in Britain, but I think
Britain? The rooftops in
yeah,
Britain. Yeah.
this
Fake fan, but whatever.
I will listen. No, I think I'll say I 100% agree that I think the best panel, because this manga is very, I mean, it's just guys talking for most of it, save the giant robot for a little bit.
There's a couple brutal executions
well,
in there.
sure,
every
there's
now
some
and
murder
again.
in there, but it's not like, it's not like Pluto where there's like robots
Mhm.
fighting each other. It's like Monster in the sense where it's mostly just people existing, but the panels in particular, it'll be on screen, I think. And by I think I mean it will be. The one of him as a kid, which you just sent, Nolan, from like chapter 76. I think you see it earlier, but this one of Kenji as a kid, it hits, and the shit hits so hard. And what I think is really interesting about the actual, what Urasawa is trying to say with this manga is like multiple characters talk about how Kenji isn't even fucking good at singing. Like, so many people will be like, he actually sucks.
Yeah.
But
every time someone listens to it, he goes, "Wow, this singing's horrible."
and then they cry, and it's
Yeah,
because
they
it's
break down.
yeah. I mean, and what you're saying about art goes in there, Nolan, where it's like, or music and art, where it's so. I think it's really cool to see that in a manga and just in like a story in general, to just see this idea of like art is fucking powerful, it shapes you, it does things to you, it can bring people together. I feel like maybe that's, I don't know, I don't think it's overused or cliche, and so I think it's fantastic to see it in this, and I think it's great to see a character. Now I do think canonically Kenji's like good at the guitar, he's just not good at singing.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to see this character who is in love with both singing and the guitar. He's just in love with music in general, and it's really fun to see a manga about an artist who's kind of bad at it. Because most of the time when you see like a story about a guy who's like, I'm a writer, or I'm a thing, blah blah blah, they're always like really fucking good, and then you have to kind of pretend that they suck. But I think it's fun to see Kenji kind of just suck at it and not make it as a rock star until after the apocalypse, or the apocalypse in Japan in particular, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Japan,
And he's like, Kana's like, we're having a second Woodstock. Fuck it.
yeah,
And Kenji's like, shit, I guess we're having a second Woodstock.
Listen, I cried at the end of when I first read it at that concert, at the end, tears. All right, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever read.
Sobbed hysterically. I got a good 21st century cry when I finished the epilogue because I forgot that scene on the roof. I just sent the screenshot of it. Where that is crazy because they're like arch nemesis, but as kids they really weren't. And he played 20th Century Boy, and then they made Gudalala Sudalala. He was like, try that.
I mean, I guess we could talk about individual characters now because I want to talk about Ocho and his stuff.
The goat.
And maybe Chono. I think that's how you say his name.
Which one?
The detective.
Yes, the junior.
The junior,
yeah. I mean, we can talk about
his
the dad
nickname,
too, because the dad is important.
Listen,
Give him
dude.
freaking Cho.
Ocho?
Yeah, we can say Cho.
When Ocho shows up?
Ocho and Shogun.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like the first, but this manga does, now it has a bunch of time jumps, but it does this thing where for a good 10 chapters, you'll just like leave the plot and you'll go follow a new character and you're like, I have no idea what the fuck is happening. And then eventually they'll tie back in. And I think Ocho is kind of like the first one of that, where when you go,
he's the first big one.
Is he in like Thailand or?
Yeah, he was in Thailand.
Yeah.
And then, he's in Thailand for a little bit before he finds the friendship. But yeah, his first few chapters are really cool. I really like how when we first meet him, yeah, he's already, you know, like over his arc, but you know, he's he's just there. It's great when he's busting the Thailand
The fucking
I
mobsters.
want to say
Dude.
mob.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were the mob, but he's busting them. He's collecting money for his, I guess we could say fixer, the guy who he works for that sends him on jobs, and he's trying to save up. Because he was trying to go back to Japan, right?
Yeah, something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
so.
Because he's in a helicopter crash. There's some
I mean,
crazy
there's
shit.
a lot of shit going on with Ocho, but I think it's interesting to see. Like you said,
Yeah, because he starts investigating the new drug that friend put out,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets a call.
Rainbow Bliss, maybe?
Yeah,
Rainbow
it's
something?
Rainbow something. Yeah, it was Rainbow something. So and when he gets the call to find the guy who OD'd, he's like, "Oh fuck, the guy's OD'd. I gotta take him out of here."
Mm.
So he takes him back, and then he's like, he takes him back to his guy who saw him on the job. He's like, the guy fucking OD'd on this new drug. And he's like freaking out about it, and he goes to investigate it. I just really like the whole sequence we get there because it explains how he's after his after he quit his job because was it because his son died or his son died before?
His son dies and then he leaves because he was never around, and so he goes on like
that's right.
quest
Yeah, because
to
he
find
overworked himself, and then his son died. Yeah, that's right.
His wife
He goes on his quest to find himself. He finds the monk, and we get that whole sequence where he gets spiked with the drug while investigating it, and he has to fight off the effects using his fucking monk training like he's Batman.
He is just Batman.
Sequence.
He's just Batman. Yeah. He's like a detective. He's a vigilante, fucking detective, badass monk guy. Like Ocho's great.
I also like how he rarely uses a gun. And he's usually just using like a broom or something.
Yeah. He just kicks the shit out.
He's got a stick.
Mm-hmm. No, Ocho's good.
In when he busts it, and he like when he's drinking the drug tea and all that, the guy that's running the drug operation was the guy that burnt down Genji's shop.
Yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah,
his friends.
Yeah, because they lost the kid, kind of.
Yeah, and Ocho's just sitting there like stone face, even though the drug's supposed to like fuck with you. It's supposed to induce like a bunch of hallucinations, and Ocho's just not having it.
He too
Mind
good.
over matter.
He's too good. I mean, he breaks out of that whole the fucking prison that's like a boat or whatever. Like it's
with the manga writer.
Fucking Alcatraz.
Well, yeah, literally with the manga writers, or the manga writer who then joins back with his homies so they can make the 20th Century Boys manga. Or isn't that because they write like the story of the real story, and there's a whole thing about censorship. There's like I was saying,
yeah, because that's at that point, Friend had a grip on the country, and he basically wiped all like new media, and he replaced it with like the old stuff he grew up with.
All nostalgia and like staying in the past, and there's a lot of like, I mean, we would have to actually write a paper if we wanted to really get into.
Yeah, it's a very dense manga. Like you. Yeah.
A lot of shit.
I would have to read it again, I think, to like talk about it.
Honestly,
to get really into it.
For the viewers, I read it about we got this on our wheel of shit about like 3 months ago, and so I read it about 2 months ago, and then these two just finished it recently. So even I'm like, I don't remember. Like I remember things because it's my second read through, but even I'm like, there's so much shit happening in this manga that I can't sit here and pretend like I remember it all. But Ocho's goated. I can't speak. And then you wanted to talk about the junior detective, Stewie.
Yeah, Cho-san.
I like Cho.
Dude,
I like
the goat.
That's your
like
goat?
how in his introduction you immediately know that he's just he's so in over his head. Like
Mhm.
all the cops are either paid off by friend or they just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think. Well, even like the guy, his like mentor, because his dad is dead, or sorry, not his dad. It's his
Mhm.
grandfather. Um, I think.
The Great Detective Joe.
Yeah, it's his grandfather. His
Yeah.
grandfather is dead, and the guy who killed his grandfather is like his mentor. Which I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, the whole time reading it, I was like, oh Jesus
Yeah, it's
Christ,
so
man.
painful because they're interacting pretty. He doesn't like treat him poorly.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of like a
He isn't
father-son dynamic
yeah,
going on, or like an
even in
uncle
the end,
dynamic.
like yeah, even in the end, when Cho eventually figures out what he did and like takes him in, uh, they don't like. Well, Cho gets mad at him, but the grandfather doesn't.
Mhm.
He's like fully cooperative with him. I wouldn't say he feels bad. I don't think he feels like too much
Mm,
regret, but he's not like angry at Cho.
Yeah, the final panel of him when he's giving Cho the salute, he's crying.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, I
It
think
all
you
comes
feel,
crashing
yeah,
down on him. It comes down at the very end. Um, and I wanted to talk about this because it relates with like the new friend and his vibes being off.
mm,
Manjome.
yeah, the old, yeah,
yeah,
Him,
that was his
him,
room, I think.
and
Yeah,
that detective both fall into the same thing of this ain't my friend. This is fake. This is not the what I signed up for. Even though what they signed up for was atrocious.
yeah.
They're like
yeah, yeah.
fuck the
This wasn't
system
my
now.
apocalypse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna stick it to the man now. And it's more poorly for one. One becomes a fucking Arasaka fucking soul killer uh, 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 uh,
in the
uh,
dreamland,
program
yeah, yeah.
in the dreamland.
There's some crazy
Fucking
cyber VR tech shit
yeah,
happening later in this.
they
It's
invent
weird.
VR, and I have a theory that original like rainbow bliss drug or whatever, because they try to inject people when they toss them in the VR initially
Yeah, I
because
mean
I
they
feel
do
like it
shit to
evolves
you, yeah.
again. Yeah.
Yeah,
That whole thing was crazy. But back
yeah,
to you. Yeah.
Tomodachi World and what was the first one called? Tomodachi Land, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The summer or the like, I don't know. There's a lot of the VR shit is crazy when that pops up out of nowhere. But Cho is interesting because at least for me, I got the same vibes. So he's similar to Kenji in the sense where he's like he really
He really
yearns
is.
to do just in general he's similar to Kenji, but also he like yearns to do this one thing. And in Cho's case, it's being a detective, and he's not even like that good at it. Like at least at the start,
No,
he's like pretty
he's always
fucking
pretty bad.
bad. Yeah, and like
He
everyone
he
says that.
gets
Yeah, I don't
yeah
know.
he gets a tracker on him from friend. Gets the it's the one lady killed that he was trying to
Which
protect
is
by friend.
yeah, that's like his big turning moment when he's trying to protect her, and he's kind of
Yeah,
seeing
it's
that
when he
friend is a bad
realizes
guy.
everyone
Yeah,
around him is a fucking liar and out to like make things worse for everyone.
yeah, it's very interesting. He has some of the best character growth, I think.
Yeah, I think
Um,
outside of Kana and Kenji, he is my favorite out of all of them.
yeah, I
I
mean,
really like Shogun still, or Ocho.
I mean, Ocho's good,
Hmm.
but Ocho kind of comes in as a done deal character, like you said, Stewie. His arc is, which isn't to say he has a little bit more of an arc, but his main
Yeah, he
arc
has
is
his
like
arc in
over.
Thailand, and then and then after that, once he reunites with his friends, he's just the like best supporting character because he's like,
Yeah,
he's with everyone. He teaches them how to fight. He makes sure they're prepared,
He's
and
he
the goat.
he is the
he's the only one that goes down. I think, uh, like gets arrested.
yeah, because the
Because everyone
rest
else
all
kind of got off.
well, they get off in the way that they like basically fake their identities and become like almost like
That's what
sleeper
I'm saying.
cells just waiting. Yeah, Ocho's the only one who goes down fighting and then gets sent into jail. So, uh, he's also the only one that at the time was like really even a threat anyway. Like Ocho's the
I
Ocho and
mean,
Kenji are the
Kenji-
only one. Well, Ocho and Kenji are the only two who were able to even climb the robot, which is like a big thing. Where the other guys, because the other characters, they think they're useless. They're not, which is their kind of that's a big part of their arc is where they're like, oh, we're
Yeah,
fucking useless. We can't do anything. Yeah, dude,
I don't know
Yoshitsune.
if I can say it.
I couldn't remember his name, but he is like my favorite of the Kenji friend group. Okay, I love his little character arc where he's like, I'm not a leader because he truly believes he's just waiting for Kenji to come back if Kenji's on. And then it's like everyone is like, dude, you've been running the resistance for like 20 years, man.
Bro,
What are
yeah,
you
bro's
talking
been
about?
running a rebel cell for like a decade.
From like
He's, like, condo
inside the
captain.
company too. Like it's not even
Yeah.
like it's goated. We got a shout out that we haven't brought him up. One of the goats, one of my favorite characters, God. All right,
God,
God,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
I love
yes.
God because he doesn't even really
Bowling
do
boom
that
is
much.
coming.
He's just kind of there to depart wisdom and also basically spell out the themes of the manga. For Kenji and the other characters, and then they never get him. He's just some old guy who wants to go bowling again. And I don't know why. I like every time he shows up. I'm like, that's the goat. That's
He's
the
so
guy
good.
right there.
Yeah, I love how he after the New Year's Eve, the Blade New Year's Eve, he just goes and starts doing stocks just to get
Yeah.
rich. And then instead of like buying a bunch of like frivolous shit, he just like I think he buys the station, doesn't he? Or
Yeah,
something like that. He like buys an area just for the homeless to chill in.
basically,
He has a mansion he lets him flop in, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
he's a goat. He for
Yeah.
real, only doing good shit. Except for when he was a youngin, and he bought that bowling
Yeah,
alley
when he
and
was
destroyed the
Yeah.
secret hideout.
it's a
How dare he.
greasy 40-year-old.
Hey, I call him a youngin, but he's like fucking 30 or 40. No, God's great. And what's the other girl who's Kana's age? Like one of the other. She becomes a main character for a bit.
Akemi, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
I liked her a lot.
No. Akemi.
I think it started with an
Maybe someone
A.
else. I think.
Someone
I'm having
fact check
trouble
it.
remembering.
Yeah, someone Nolan.
I know who you're talking about, though.
I really liked her. And again, that goes into what we're saying, where like this manga has so many themes and ideas, and like each character.
Oh.
Koizumi, I think.
Yeah,
Something with a
Koizumi.
K.
Koizumi.
Yeah, that's it.
Each character, side character or not, has like their own themes, and now like and obviously in good writing, every character has their own arc. But I'm almost like she's so different from the rest of them, and is completely detached until she accidentally attaches herself to them, and then like has a completely different arc. Like her and Kana aren't remotely the same. Oh, and she's not. I don't know. It's
Sent to a fucking
They're not even friends.
re-education
no, they're not
camp.
even friends. It's interesting that this manga has so many characters, and so many of them have their own arcs with their own ideas, but they all somewhat relate back to the same thing. It's crazy the amount of shit.
Yeah,
they
because
have.
she followed a band that got inspired by Kenji.
Yeah,
those guys,
yeah.
Yeah, so everything still leads back to Kenji somehow.
Kenji is the goat.
And
That's why.
to your point, Xander, everything their themes leading back to the themes of Friend and his all the shit with that. The fucking priests, bro. Father Nitani and Father Luciano are hard as hell,
I
dude.
love Luciano.
Luciano, oh my god, dude. They're so good. And it says something about religion. Because you have the Pope and these two men that are these two men especially, and the Pope is as well, so devout in their beliefs and how good, like how I'm not like glazing Christianity or anything. I'm just saying, and for them, Christianity is this pure thing, and everyone can be forgiven. They have those Christian themes, paralleled with Friend and his cult. And his cult goes from a mini cult to a political party to a full blown religious
Authoritarian
regime.
religious regime, yeah.
Yeah. And these priests like being the two pillars kind of keeping the Catholic Church aligned for the most part, other than it's
Yeah.
not fully. If that Pope died, they would have been
Dude,
cooked.
Friend,
Probably, yeah.
the Pope is a friend of friends. All right, you know, just they talk about this the whole thing where it's like, yeah, dude, the Pope endorses for not the Pope, but it's like the Catholic Church endorses Friend, and it's like, what the fuck is
It does, yeah. But at the same
shout out those
time,
priests, so.
he gets unaligned from Friend.
Yeah,
He does very
Friend is crazy.
quickly when the things go. Yeah.
And
there's a good
well, I was just gonna say I can't remember. You guys just said their names, but the priest who's the German guy. I think he's German. He's in German, or was he?
there's Italian. There's an Italian priest and a Chinese
He's
priest.
the Italian guy.
Yeah.
It's the one with like the squiggly.
Luciano.
Yeah, the squiggly black hair. He has and this is purely for any Yakuza fan watching this, but he several times does the like Yakuza rip shirt off to show crazy tattoos on back moment, and every time I see it, I'm like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I really like Luciano. His introduction, well, not his introduction because we get a little bit more, but when he first goes to Japan, after all the bullshit that happened to him in the church happens, and he meets Cho, and Cho's desperately trying to talk to him with a little translator book, and then finally Luciano says the Italian word for Pope, and that's what Cho latches onto. And then they connect through that. It was such a good scene. I liked it.
So very good.
And then they eat ramen together.
Dude, the food's a big part of this too, which is like, or not necessarily a big part, but it's like, food is also shown as an art form in this that can connect people. Interesting things to think about. That's all I'm saying. All right, with the fucking, what's it, ramen on wheels or whatever.
The Frog Empire guy. Oh my god!
Well, and the guy, he's too scared to answer Kenji's call, you know. And I'm like, he comes back. He comes back in the end, goated. All right, and he finds that scene where he finds the little boy in the fucking plague town, dude.
That's so good.
Oh yeah.
And he was so scared to answer Kenji's call. But after shit went down and he moved to the U.S., he's just not scared of anything anymore. The amount of times he goes into certain death and doesn't give a fuck, he's like, fuck it.
Is the goat, man. When he goes towards the border wall and he's trying to convince the guards to come down.
Dude, stand on that X right here.
The Friend fucking border guards are crazy, man. Insane, truly insane things happening in this manga. We loosely mentioned it. Friend creates a plague that like just destroys the world. You know, what is it that I think, isn't it Kana's mom who writes it, where it's like, I am Godzilla or whatever.
I am Godzilla. I crushed 150,000 people.
A lot more than that.
Yep.
Well, yeah, those were the original numbers when it first got released.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole crazy subplot when you get to the bottom of the plague and you're finding out Kana's mom did it because she was like with Friend, and it's a whole fucking. She didn't really want it.
It was like Yamane had to make the disease, and she had to make the vaccine, and they just kept going back and forth.
Yeah,
like Friend just machining the whole operation.
No, it's
because the didn't truly know what they were doing with the bacteria until Kiriko showed up and showed him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he fucking breaks, bro. It's just no, it's for the Friend, and his book of prophecy is kind of hilarious. Like the shenanigans they be getting up to that actually just kill millions of people is kind of crazy. The robot powered by, what's it, like uranium or whatever? I mean, it's radioactive or explosive.
It was a nuclear powered robot, yeah. Both of them were.
Yeah, I was gonna say both of them were. But that doesn't stop the goat Kenji. All right, that don't
Dude,
doesn't.
Kenji,
proton bomb.
Kenji blowing up himself with like
Dude.
15, 20 pounds of dynamite is truly insane.
Listen, that is true. There is no experience like reading this manga up to what becomes like the Bloody New Year's when all of them start walking towards that robot, and then it just cuts, and it's like actually time skip time, and you don't come back to that for like ages, man. And when Kenji like climbs up there and he loses the suit and every stomp is like killing him because the robot is so unstable, it just like fucks your body up with the way it moves. Oh my god, man. All of that is peak. What else? You guys got anything else?
I was just gonna say at the end when the second robot comes, how the manga when the manga starts, it opens with Kana and she's facing the second robot, but we don't know it at the time. And then towards the end, when she wakes up finally after like, because she like worked herself to the bone to organize the Woodstock event at the expo,
The fucking world.
and then she wakes up and she sees the robot. I really like that part as well.
Yeah, dude, it's good. It's so good.
I was gonna say, if you guys don't got anything else, I wanted to end it on what your favorite moment is.
You can go first if you want. You can go first.
This is hard.
I can give
This
you a
is
minute.
so
I can go.
hard.
It's
I can
very
go.
hard.
I
It
can
takes a
go
lot.
and give you guys a minute. Because my favorite moment, maybe I'm crazy. All right. Now, obviously, I think if I really distilled it down, it would be any of the times Kenji is actually playing a guitar, probably the best moments. But the moment I really enjoy, especially on a reread, there's a moment very early on where Kenji goes to a like friend cult meeting and is like kind of pushed in front of them. And I don't know why, but it fascinated me. On the reread especially, there's something about it where I was like I reread the chapter because I was like I can't even tell you. It's been 2 months now. I can't tell you why, but it's been stuck in my brain for some reason, and it's interesting to me. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, I understand because that's like the first real time where it starts going down because that's like the confirmation that friend definitely has something to do with Kenji
Right.
at that point.
Well, and especially he has something to do with Kenji, and then like maybe he has something to do with Kana, and you're like, oh, something's going on, and like all of the people are seeing like all of these friend cultists are seeing Kenji, and it's a big moment for Kenji where he's like, I mean, he had already decided he was going to take them down, I think, but I think it's a big moment where he's like, okay, this is a problem. Like these people, there's only like 50 of them, and even then, I'm like, this is a problem. And so I don't know. I really like that moment.
I think I have my moment, and it was a hard pick here. But it's when it's in the time skip when we're back to Kenji, and he's going with I'm Kabuki Joe.
Yeah.
When he loses all his memories and all that bullshit, and he's getting them back. He's getting a grip on everything, and after they make all the fake border passes with the manga artist and all that shit, they do like an attack, like him, the cowboy, and some other meatheads go and kind of assault the castle. Because it's a goofy castle with like it's all feudally. I don't know.
Friend is weird.
Yeah, and the guy who is the king or the Führer in this one is that Moribushi guy, the assassin,
Yeah,
the hitman.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time Kenji says outright who he is, because Cho's following him the whole time. Is like, you're Kenji, you gotta be Kenji, you're Kenji, right? You're right. And he fucking walks him down, takes his sunglasses off. He's like, I'm Kenji, who are you? And he walks him down, and he almost blows his fucking brains out, like kills himself. But Kenji, stops him from killing himself. That's probably one of my favorite moments
Good moment.
which is hard because I like you can't shoot a man when he's playing music.
You
Like
can't shoot
that's
him when he's
just
playing music is big money, dude. Shout out the radio host guy, by the way. Not like really the radio, but the guy in the radio tower who's like broadcasting like a friend of Kenji. Shout him out. We didn't talk about him wrong. I wanted to before Stewie goes, so I just wanted to get that out. I liked him a lot.
you're so
yeah,
cool.
Conchi, I think his name was.
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite moment. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. I think it's. I think it's the entire like prison break and like introduction to Kana. That whole arc, I think, is my favorite moment in the manga because we're getting stuff with Shogun again, because we assumed everyone at that point in the manga, it's like assumed that the New Year's Eve attack failed, and most of them are either dead or like captured by friend. And so when we meet Shogun, he's all like old and he's talking to the manga writer and stuff, and he's like, "The fight's not over, and we have to get out." I really like that because they've been keeping him in solitary for like a decade.
The whole time, bro.
Like ever since they captured him. And the entire time, he's so determined to fight still. And him, the manga writer, they escape the prison. It gets like impossible odds because it's like on an artificial island, and they have to swim all the way back to the coast of Japan, and through like an underwater tunnel that's partially flooded. And then while all that's happening, you have Kana still like rousing the resistance. She's talking to like the Chinese and Taiwanese mobs.
Yeah. No, that's a good. That's like
yeah,
the first time
part.
jump era, or the right after the first time jump is very. It's very good.
The Kabuki Joe stuff when Kenji comes back is really good as well. I do really like when he talks down the assassin guy, like you said, the Führer, at like gunpoint, and he just fucking breaks it in like 3 seconds.
Yeah. Just unravel his entire being.
I like that all the villains have like I guess for me a real quick an ending thought is that I like that all of the villains are diabolically bad people, but also they are portrayed as people in the sense that like most of the time at the end of their life they're like, oh, what the fuck have I done? Like all of them are like, oh my god. Yeah. It's really interesting to see these guys who like it doesn't absolve them of any of their crimes, but you know, I don't know. It's just to get to the end of their life and be like, we've really fucked up. And even, I mean, Stu, you're briefly mentioning it with Kana, like the mobsters, how she like gets them to agree to be like friends, and they talk about how they never really want to even fucking do this shit in the first place. Anyways, it's very fun to see all of these people act like real people, even though there's like superpowers and fucking nuclear robots and shit. We didn't even touch on the superpowers.
Yeah, because most of them were just riding the high that Friend gave them.
Yeah.
Because Friend, he basically played all his followers like a fiddle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to put the clip in now that you said that, but yeah. No, Friend is just, I mean, he's using them, but he's also like letting them be seen for the first time.
Yeah, he gave them a purpose, and he twisted it. He twisted it, and he made them completely dependent on him. So when he finally dies, everyone just kind of freaks out. Like everyone's just kind of like, "What the fuck do we do now?"
And they all have moments where they think about and reflect and feel remorseful, or if they don't feel remorseful and they are just bad guys, they like, you know, think about why. But even Friend at the end is like Kenji is sad with the way it ends with Friend. Like he doesn't feel good about Friend. He tried, you know, and you kind of have this moment where you're like,
apologizes to him.
I was gonna say you have that moment where you're like, oh, maybe Friend is, you know, maybe he could feel. I think he dies, so it doesn't matter. But it's like maybe he could feel better.
Yeah, he dies and it gets fucking like Nolan said it, he gets fucking trapped inside the VR like Arasaka style.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of, I don't know. It's interesting to see remorse and letting your villains be bad guys, but also being like they are human at the end of the day, and you don't have to feel bad for them, but they feel bad. I think is very fun.
Yeah.
But I don't have much more to say about 20th Century Boys, except it is peak. And if you haven't, you have to read the sequel. All right. If you're somehow still here and you didn't read 21st Century Boys, you need to go read that. And also, if you want to read it, if you haven't read any of it, make sure you read 21st Century Boys, even though we just spoiled the entire manga. Well, everything. But if you want to read
Very
it after
brief
this,
spoilers, but yeah.
well, I mean, we spoiled a lot, but it's all over the fucking place. And there's so much more we didn't mention.
It's a very dense book.
Yeah.
Like we would be here all day if we were to extensively talk about it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't think Xander could edit that. I don't think Xander could edit that.
I mean, I
down.
could,
I'm
I
not
just
going
don't want
say
to.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I actually tried to write my thoughts out on this manga, I think I would have a video length equal to my Worm video, which is an unwritten 3-hour-long rant about Worm. So I that's to say how much there is here and how much it makes you think. Either way, my thoughts, 10 out of 10.
Yes, easily. For me.
Yeah, I would say 10/10 as well. This is a great read.
Yeah, it's a very good read. Is this the best thing we've read for a Cantos?
I don't know about that.
It's got a good award, It's got a good award. JC McCrae, my goat. I mean, what can I say? I love Defiant. I love Arms Master.
Man, shut
Leviathan Fights Peak. Mannequin Interlude.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. Okay. God damn, dude. I know I mentioned Worm, but I didn't talk about it. All right, I briefly mentioned it to make a.
It's gonna haunt this entire channel for years to come.
I did. Half the subs. Hello, Worm fans. Half of the subs are Worm fans, man. I think I was at like. Hold on. Let's look something up. Let's look something up live on air, okay? Because I can go look at the analytics. Right. So we're at 212 subs. When I made the Worm video, I think I was at 127. Maybe. Might have been like 120. I don't remember. But so about 100 people, thank you again, by the way, subbed because of Worm. And it doesn't...
Sorry if you're also a Ward fan, but also I'm sorry you're a Ward fan.
Listen, most of the Ward comments were people saying, hey, it's all right, you didn't like it. And I was like,
yeah,
cool. I'm sorry we shat on your favorite thing. I do feel bad. But not joking, is the best thing I think it's a test or a contest between this and part 7.
I still think it's part 7.
Part 7 is also a 10 out of 10.
It's a well-known fact. I am a Western. I like Western
that's true.
properties.
That's true.
So
Maybe not a Cantos fact,
part
but
7
it
is a
is
hard thing to beat. I think we mentioned it. I think we mentioned it in the part 7 video.
We might have mentioned it in the part 7 video, but part 7 is crazy.
I like Western movies. I'm a Western movie guy.
I'll tell you what, though. I don't think anything else really comes close to part 7 or this. Not even part 8, even though I adore part 8 with all of my being.
Yeah, part 8 is really fun. Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
We read Invincible.
Invincible.
The one part at the end really does sour Invincible for me. I'm seeing Invincible video if you want to know.
Yeah. I see Invincible part 7 and this are all 10s for me. They're all things that I didn't cry during part 7, but I was damn close. But I did cry during Invincible. Every time I read Invincible, I cry. And both times I've read this, I cried. So they are equals. Part 7's up there.
Yeah, this is a close second of part 7.
But yeah, I don't think we have much else to say about 20th century and 21st century boys. Except go read it.
Go read it if you haven't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here if you haven't.
You
You should have gone
not.
to read
Yeah,
it
you
after.
should have gone to read it. They print these. I think it's Viz. Most manga is Viz in America, but they print these
Yeah,
really
they own
cool,
everything.
like perfect editions. I
Yeah,
own the
they
first
own
volume.
fucking Homestuck, bro.
Yeah.
They own everything.
But so there's these great looking. They're printed very nicely. I've shown Nolan one time he came over, and I was like, "Look at this beautiful thing. It's a very nice print. Go buy it. If not, I'm sure you can find it other ways. But you didn't hear that from us, okay? You should go buy it. It deserves your money."
Mhm.
With that, goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye.